this law mentality that happens in Romans 7, that's based on the Romans 6 person not knowing that they died and that they've been born again.
Mm-hmm.
The Romans 7 person doesn't realize this, and so they don't understand what it means to have died and been born again in Christ. That person experiences what Paul is talking about here. He says, "For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am of flesh, sold into bondage to sin. For what I am doing, I do not understand. For I am not practicing what I would like to do, but I am doing the very thing I hate. But if I do the very thing I do not want to do, I agree with the law, confessing that the law is good. So now I'm no longer the one doing it." And so Paul has this situation where in contemporary Western Christianity, we think this is the normal Christian life, to have this continual conflict of conscience. I want to sin, but I don't sin, or I don't want to sin, but I do sin, and I want to be righteous, but I can't be righteous. This continual internal conflict.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Less Heresy Than Expected podcast, brought to you by Icons Regospeled, a nonprofit resharing the true gospel of grace for all mankind to the icons of God. There's something about an all-loving Father throwing people or even allowing them to be tortured for eternity has never quite sat right with you, or if you're simply curious about different perspectives that still take Jesus seriously, we'd invite you to be part of the conversation by following us and the guests that we sit down with. And if this gooder gospel, this fully grace-filled, this genuinely for all people message feels like the air that you also breathe, we may have made the perfect conversation starter for you to take with you throughout your day. You can find it in our merch store, linked in the description below. And with that, let's get back to the conversation.
That has nothing to do with stability. That is not Christ-like. That is not full-blown air maturity at all. It is actually immature, double-minded thought. And it's the mindset of a person who doesn't know that in Romans chapter 6 they died.
Yeah.
And they haven't yet cried out, verse 24, "Wretched man that I am, who will set me free from this body of death?" And the answer is, as Paul declares, Jesus Christ. Very briefly, then Romans 8 says, okay, now that you understand that there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ.
Yeah.
Who are those in Christ? Everyone. When I am lifted up, I will draw all men to myself. The word there is like a fishnet. I will drag you, kicking and screaming if I have to. That's the Greek word.
Well, that takes away my free will, Jeremy.
Look,
That's a different conversation.
Jesus was not just one human.
Yeah.
He is all of humanity, and he is the head of humanity. And he died and was resurrected as the first fruits of a redeemed, restored, healed humanity.
It's too much red meat right now.
Romans chapter 8 is all of that. And Romans chapter 8 is just encouraging you. Listen, don't think the way you used to think, and you won't live the way you used to live.
I wanted to bring in this analogy that I thought of a while back, and every time I say it, I hear somebody go, "Oh, wow." And it's this analogy where Jesus wakes up. He's a little boy, and he's looking around. He's surrounded by a bunch of other little kids, and he walks out front, and he sees, oh, it's the local orphanage. Oh, what am I doing here? So he goes back inside, and he says, hey, and all the kids start like slowing down a little bit. They get a little quiet. They look over at this kid that's demanding, their attention, and he says, "Hey, Dad's coming home, by the way." They say, "What?" They start laughing, and he's like, "No, Dad's on his way. He's coming. He's coming to get us." And they're like, "Dude, we're orphans, bro. What are you talking about?" And he's telling them what they don't realize, which is that this isn't our home. This is just where we're currently at, but this isn't our home. Our dad, because we are siblings, our dad is coming to get us. and it's this, and to a certain extent, you can very rightly say that what he is doing is working, and that he is out there telling people, he's out there doing the thing, right? He's evangelizing, he's doing all these things. Well, in reality, he's just so freaking excited to let them know to get ready. Hey, like, you know, put on your coat, you know, it's a little bit cold outside or whatever, you know, like, just get in the van, like, we're going home. It's this point where when you have the gospel, the very good news that all men are saved, that all have been included in Christ, that when you recognize that, you can't shut up about it, which was the whole premise of this podcast. Hey, this is not work for either you or I. We're going to have this on screen or off screen. So to the day we die, we're going to be talking about this because we have this really good gospel that says, hey, you're living in a confused state, and I have what is going to alleviate that. And when you are alleviated of that confused state, you no longer perceive anything else as work. You simply live out of excitement to bring forward clarity as to whose you are.